Hi everyone, Major here. Welcome back to Steel Division. So just continuing on a theme of reviewing a few battle groups for the most recent update, which is a few months ago now. I think I've done one, the 16 Luftwaffe Division, Panzer Lehr, so it's time to look at the Allies. And so we look at the 4th Armoured Division, more commonly known within Patton's army as Georgie's boys. They always seem to be up the front. And a little bit of background on the 4th Armoured Division. It was first raised in June 1942, or May and June of 1942. Of December of the same year, 42 departed from Boston in the USA to go to England in preparation for the invasion of Normandy. When Normandy occurred, we all know the background of that, or roughly. The 4th Armoured Division didn't land until over a month after the initial invasion, which was around the 11th of July, and went into combat on the 17th of July during the American breakout battles in towards the western and southern of France, more commonly known as Operation Cobra. Now, one of the units that were directly opposite the 4th Armoured was Panzer Lehr, and you might remember in the video, Panzer Lehr was carpet bombed into submission, or almost total destruction, which partly enabled the 4th Armoured Division, as well as other units, to break out, where the American units then fanned north, south, and west. And in the northern sector, Big Hook towards the Falaise, which formed part of a huge battle of encirclement, the Falaise Gap, which rendered German resistance in that part of France almost total destruction. So the 4th Armoured fought in Normandy, northern France, the Rhineland, Ardennes, Central Europe, and parts of the division formed what was called the 4th Constabulary Brigade in occupation of Germany, and eventually the unit was deactivated in 1949. For those who know American armoured formations, the 4th did come back, but is now known as the 1st Armoured Division. So a little bit of background on the 4th. So let's get into the recon. Let's get into the breakdown of the battle group. Now, if you look at Phase A, the recon, 80 skirmish, Phase B, 130, and in the battle phase, 130 activation points. So not quite as strong or not quite as balanced if you compare it to the British Commando Brigade or to the Lufthansa Division, but a very good unit all the same. So let's get into our recon. So there is a few options here, both in Phase A and in Phase B. Phase A, we've got the recon with the Willie Jeep. Jeep having the 30 cal machine gun, effective range out to 600, and not a bad unit, other than it is quite susceptible to any enemy fire. Sorry about that, can't pronounce my words. Also, in the recon sector, we have the option of the M20 Scout car with a couple of dudes with Thompson machine guns. Not a bad unit. They can be quite handy in quick reconnaissance and also holding down a flank where you know there's only infantry. Cavalry scouts, once again, only a couple of guys or four guys, but they do have a bazooka, which makes them a lot more deadly and gives them some protection against armor. So yeah, we'll take a couple of the cavalry scouts as well. So plenty of recon. Let's go into the infantry. Yep, we must have armored leader just to maintain morale and direction and to prevent them falling back too quickly. Now, if you look at the rifles, no armored protection there. And then with the half track, yep, plenty of suppression fire with the machine gun, the Browning, and also within the infantry as well. They have some light machine guns. I think it's the bar, the Browning automatic, 20 shot clip. So we'll go for some rifles, and we'll go for some half track mounted rifles. And we might just get some more. We also don't have, funny enough, in phase A, heavy machine gun, which is unfortunate. So we'll go to phase B. Yep, we'll get an armoured leader. Now the engineers don't have the flamethrower, which is unfortunate. We have the explosive satchel, but that's a one-off. So once you use it, you've really got nothing. Not necessarily going to give you anything against uh, armored fighting vehicles, but in Phase B within the rifles, you get the bazooka. So yeah, lots of rifles. So that does us for the infantry. For tanks, got to get the Abrams. Elite unit, 2 stars, as you can see there. Very, very handy. If it's going to tell me. There we go, 2 stars, indicate elite troops. Yep, we'll have that. Not keen on the Stuart or Honey tanks. If you look at the armour, 6, 4 and 3, only a 37mm gun. You're not going to do much even against a Panzer Mark IV with that. And you look at the B phase, you've got the standard M4A1, more commonly known amongst some circles, even some of the veterans of the 4th Armoured Division, as the Ronson, because it tended to light up as soon as it was hit. But once we get to the 76mm gun, look at the armour penetration 13 as against 10. So we will take some of those 76 mounted guns, and in phase C we've got some more of the M4A1 76 and the Rhino. You look at the Rhino, all of a sudden the armoured protection goes through the roof. Compare it to the M4, you've only got a 9 frontal armour, 9, 4 and 4. You go to the Rhino, yep, still a bit thin on the sides, but the 12, the Rhino does give you better protection. Having said that, you still only get the 75mm gun with an armoured penetration of 10, but we will fill up with the Rhinos. So support, yep, you got the M20, um, only good for spotting really, or infantry forces at range where you know there's not going to be any panzer force. Now with most German units, come 1944 onwards, almost to a platoon or to a squad, you will have anti-tank protection. So with the M2 or the M2 machine gun, effective range out to 800 meters, yeah, it can be handy. So we will get a few of those. We will get plenty of supply, not a lot of supply there. M30 cargo, yep, need a few of those. And we will get some Scots just for their 75mm howitzer, which has got quite good suppression value. And then we'll move on to anti-tank. Anti-tank, yeah, we will definitely get bazookas. And we'll also take bazookas with the M20. 57mm, and then we start getting the Hellcat. So in Phase A, you only get the one Hellcat. Phase B and Phase C, you get multiples, so we'll take those. Remember, the Hellcat, great armoured penetration, but the armour is pretty poor. So just when you use the Hellcat, make sure you're taking shots at range. Don't get too close and get ugly with German panzers. You will get knocked out really quick. So for anti-aircraft, yep, can't go past the M16. Half track, you look at the quad mount, a lot of fire suppression there, out to a range of 800 meters. And if you do catch infantry in the open, you can do some really, really big damage. Phase B will get a few more, and that would probably fit what we need. Back into artillery. So we have the 60mm mortar with effective range of 900 meters. Not really that great, but if we get the 81mm mortar, we're out to 1200. We can also bring in Shermans as forward observation artillery spotters, quite handy. What I do like is the priests and the 81mm mortar carriers, and you get into phase B, you've got the M12 gun carriage, 4,000 meter range, 155mm gun, 2 rounds per minute, but great suppression value. Problem is that you need to have a few of these boys, so we'll get a couple more on phase C. That gets us to 34 of our 36 activation points. All right, so better off, we need some reconnaissance. So we've got a lightning elite unit as reconnaissance, so we'll take that. And now we've got aircraft. So I'm going to have to reduce maybe a little bit of recon, support. No, I don't want to reduce that. Anti-tank, anti-air, artillery. All right, might forego. Oh, no, I don't want to forego the mortars. Keep that mortar there. They're handy in phase A. So we've got two places left for aircraft. And you look at the amount of aircraft here. I mean, you can really set the scenes. So you've got the Marauders at close air support with lots and lots of machine guns. It's not really their prime role. I do like the thought of having some lightnings there for air supremacy. That gets us to 35. We've got one unit left. Now in phase C, we could go for the Marauder with 22 45 kilogram bombs. Um, yeah, definitely got to go for those. And I would like, shame there's no lightnings in this, some thunderbolts in this deck with the rockets. I want to get another, another aircraft unit if I can. Don't want to take anything more out of recon. Infantry I won't touch. Tanks I won't touch. Support. All right, let's drop the M8s, the M20s. We'll keep the Scots. That gives us another activation point. And phase B, we can get a couple of lightnings, veteran units with two 250 kilogram bombs. Yep, we'll go for those. So that's my deck. And this is what it'll look like. Depending on how you want to work, I like to get my scouts forward with some infantry support with a bit of artillery as soon as possible. So that's why I've got the M21 motor gun carriage with the two 81mm mortars, and then some aircraft just to back up either with bombs or with air supremacy. And then once we start bringing out the tanks, Allies don't have the greatest tanks. We don't have a lot of them, considering it's an armoured division, until phase C, where we can bring out some Rhinos and some more M4A1 76s. That's why we've got the Hellcats there with their 76mm gun. So yeah, fairly balanced. Give it a try. Tell me what you think. But this is the deck that I use. So if you see me online in a multiplayer game, and I've got the fourth armoured, you've got a pretty good hint now of what I'll be using. Anyway, that's enough from me. Give it a try. Come back to me. Tell me what you think. If you've got what you think is a better battle group, please share. No secrets and good gameplay. But until next time, this is the Major out. Bye bye.